Good day to you. This is our midday broadcast. Today the Lord's vision and word comes that times are far advanced and men plan, but God is God. Proverbs 19:21. Men make many devices, but the counsel of the Lord will stand. Man is making many devices. The other day, China said the QR code should be brought in, which gives digital identity about vaccine safety, health safety, and UCLA research shows that there were originally 3 strains, and the talk about mutation is not really true. There were 3 strains, D614, 614G, and D614G, that got distributed as people moved around. So Pharaoh thinks that he has everything in his hands and he can take all the nations and crush them as he pleases, just the way the Pharaoh of that time during the Exodus or before the Exodus came after them, thinking they are all in their hands. But it was a God get-up, God set up. God came after Pharaoh. So this is going to happen again. The global oligarchs have planned the pandemic very well, planned the viruses, many strains, and a vaccine, different vaccines for different strains, and the digital marker. So the Revelation 13 phenomenon is just before our eyes. It had to happen in some generation. It is happening in our generation. Now, Ziklag is where David was almost late. Then it happened, 1 Samuel 30. Then it happened when David and his men came to Ziklag on the 3rd day that the Amalekites had made a raid on the Negev and on Ziklag and had overthrown Ziklag, burnt it with fire. So 3rd day is the day that Jesus Christ was resurrected, and eventually we will see that they will give chase, and towards next day they caught up with the Amalekites. David asked, they lost everything in Ziklag. It seemed a disaster. And David's men were ready to stone him, but it says David strengthened himself in the Lord. They had no strength to weep, but David strengthened. Verse 6, but David strengthened himself in the Lord, his God. This is a time like that. And soon after the Ziklag, apparent mess it was, Amalekites had come in, COVID has come in and done havoc in the nations. But David goes catch up. Here David inquired of the Lord, verse 8, shall I pursue this band? Shall I overtake them? And he said to him, pursue, for you will surely overtake them, and you will surely rescue all. That's what the Lord is telling the church. You will rescue all. Get on with it now. No more delay. And then soon after the Ziklag turned around, David became king. Saul fell, David became king, and the kingdom came in. So David had a little stone, and we better get our little stone ready. But for the hour of the little stone to be effective, David had practiced all his life. And there is another little stone in Daniel's day, Daniel chapter 2. Daniel had practiced all his life to see the vision and interpret and be in the king's court. Daniel 2, 34, you continue to look until a stone was cut out without hands, and it struck the statue on its feet of iron and clay and crushed them. So the statue was towering, glorious like a lion, and roaring like a lion, and swift like a panther, tenacious as a bear. This is the progression of Revelation chapter 13 that Daniel sees beforehand. But God was preparing a rock. God was preparing a little stone to cut it out of the eternal rock. Then the iron, the clay, the bronze, the silver, and the gold were crushed all at the same time and became like chaff from the summer threshing floor, and the wind carried them away. So it's God's harvest time. God is the one who takes the nations to the threshing floor. Be it Armageddon, the pharaohs may plan, global oligarchs may plan, but it's a God get-up. They are going to get it up with God. They think they are doing it. So we, the church, God's Zion was always small. But don't think like grasshoppers in our own eyes. That's what Israelites said. But God is maneuvering the Armageddon. Yes. Nations think they are doing it with pandemics, viruses, vaccines, digital certificate, number 666, whatever it is. But God is never surprised. So His church has to be watchful, certainly. God will do it with His Zion. We are His footstool. Nations are saying, as Psalm 2 says, throw the boundaries out. We are God. And this is the time, and then Daniel continues, Daniel 2:44, in the days of those kings, the God of heaven will set up a kingdom which will never be destroyed, and that kingdom will not be left for another people. It will crush and put an end to all these kingdoms, but it will itself endure forever. So the stone that was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it crushed the iron, the bronze, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great God has made known to the king what will take place in the future. So the dream is true and its interpretation is trustworthy. So God's kingdom will expand, begins like a stone, and at the height of the statue, that the statue thinks he got it all. Pharaoh thinks he got it all. God is going to smash it. But he needs the church. Revelation 17:14. The Lamb will win the victory with the chosen, called, and faithful. That's what God is into. We are His footstool. He's getting ready for this. So David became king just after Ziklag. So Goliath is growling, sneering. He thinks he has got it. But God has got a little stone and a little David in every nation, and a Daniel in every nation. This is the time. And a Joseph in every nation, to have God's wisdom for innovation, for economic prosperity. And Mordecai, who guards the heart of the king, that the king will not appoint a Haman into place and harass the Christians, harass the believers. No way. But we need to watch. And Nehemiah, who serves the king in a very humble disposition, and he gets elected, appointed to be the governor of Jerusalem itself. So God is on the move, and the bird says God will show Himself cunning to those who are cunning. It's a time like that. But Zion, we need to watch it. And every day, every hour, we hear the Lord saying, even as the Father has sent me, so send I you. Every day, every hour, we are harnessed for the battle. We are equipped. Church has to upgrade itself in thinking like the spiritual warfare action team. We cannot relax. Ziklag was a situation, they were almost too late, but they were not late. So church, we can't be late anymore. We must get on with what the program God has for us. He will instruct us day by day, give us wisdom we don't have, give us fortitude, give us strength for the battle. Every day, every hour, we are a prepared church. God bless you. God keep you.